today's world, schooling doesn't assure employment, but skill does. Am I right?
Very right.
I'm very grateful. Amidst the rains, we've been able to reach Imperere. We have met an amazing innovator, entrepreneur, change maker, and a social activist. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
You can tell our viewers your names.
My name is Aine Dickson, and I'm a social entrepreneur running a social enterprise called Sustainable Youth Development Foundation, SYDF.
That's amazing. My name too is Chigundu Silas, and I'm here from SN Rising to show you the amazing innovations. Tell us about SYDF.
Yes, SYDF basically we equip young people with different employable hands-on skills. Example, paper bags, reusable sanitary pads,
Okay.
Liquid soap, among others.
Okay, that's amazing. I've heard about the reusable sanitary pads. There are a lot of challenges in our communities where girls can't access these pads when they reach their periods. Which strategies have you put in place to make sure that you reach onto this girl deep in Ibundibujo, in Ibutambala, in Karamoja?
Yes, of course, as SYDF, we don't work alone. And even if we are to work alone, we do not have all the resources to enable us to work alone. We work with different stakeholders, organizations, different social entrepreneurs, who link us to different groups in different communities that we train these young people how to make these reusable sanitary pads.
Oh, yeah. Meaning you train a certain group in a different community, and then that group acts as a group of trainers for trainers.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Sometimes they're actually not trained as trainers, but because they live within the community and they get that knowledge, so they spread out the knowledge.
Okay. Yeah. Could you tell us, like currently, which number of people have you trained in different communities, specifically the girls?
I will first give a lump sum of the number that we've managed to train from 2018, 2019 to February 2020. We've been able to reach 2,500 young people.
That's amazing.
Yes.
2,500.
Yes, with different hands-on skills, paper bags, liquid soap, and reusable sanitary pads. But the biggest number out of all that is reusable sanitary pads. We've been able to train more people in reusable sanitary pads than all the others.
You know, there are a lot of amazing things you would be doing. When I was hearing about your story, I heard that you were even doing you were working with an amazing organization, and you were earning a lot of money from salary. What inspired you to start something like this, which is turning lives, which is changing a lot of lives in our communities?
Of course, working with that child rights agency triggered my mind into thinking how best I could equip or rather support young people getting involved into the employment sector, because they kept on flowing back to us, specifically looking for job opportunities. Yet for us as an organization, we were basically rescuing these children off the streets, reintegrating them, and rather rehabilitating them and then integrating them back into their communities. There was no really much of an element of bridging that gap between the youth and the employment sector.
Okay.
So it triggered me when they kept on coming back looking for job opportunities, thinking that we had all the connections. And to me, as a person who had spent all that time and seeing these children coming back, it would be like you move from one point and then you go around until again you come back to the same spot.
And at that point you are like a father. Children are getting back to you, thinking you have all the solutions. Yet you are also just earning salary.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So you thought about creating different avenues in line with practical skilling, such that by the time I learn how to make a paper bag, I go collect the newspapers, other papers from different communities. I make a paper bag and I'm able to earn money.
Yes.
Because we have the chapati guys, the Rolex, the takeaway. They want these paper bags every day. That's amazing. I love that. Okay. Could you tell us when did you start? Like which year?
Of course, as SYDF, we started in November 2015, but the practical bit of skills, we started in 2017. Yeah, we started with paper bags, and this is something we started with 70,000 Uganda shillings. Of course, there's a trick how we did it to get where we are. And later on, we also started the reusable sanitary pads, the production and the training. With we started with 90,000 Uganda shillings, and then later we started the liquid soap bit. We started it with about, I think it was 45,000 to 50,000 Uganda shillings.
Okay, that's amazing. So tell us about the challenges. Simply the challenges you faced before joining Eastern Rising.
Oh la la. Yeah, the challenge, of course.
Is interesting.
Yeah. One, the challenge was the administrative costs.
Okay.
We had a lot of challenges, like we were always in arrears of rent. Yeah. Then we also had the issue of paying people's salaries. It actually made me rethink, and that is when I decided to come up with the payment structure, which is basically based on you get paid based on how much you make, like your production rate. So at the time I joined Einstein Rising, I really needed it. Leave alone the money bit,
yeah.
But I also needed that motivation, that energy, that knowledge to push me to another level.
The business development.
Development, because all these things I was starting were basically based on an element of I need to get money so that I can survive. I need to get money so that
without thinking about the pivoting, the impact,
whatever it is.
The sustainability part of the business.
The sustainability was not part of it. It was not in the picture.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we are reaching where you hear about Eastern Rising. How did you hear about the Eastern Rising?
As I told you earlier on, or as you might have heard when I was narrating my story, each part of each partner or each person that I've talked to has connected me to another person.
That's the value of network.
Yes. So I got to know about Eastern Rising through Chusa, Noelin Chirabo. And I got to know, maybe I could start from how I got to know Noelin. I got to know Noelin through the advert that was running on the Chusa social media platform.
Okay.
And it was talking about the accelerator program, training people how to run businesses, to best manage their businesses. And I applied. I went through. So when I went through the training, then we were introduced to Einstein Rising. Yeah, that is how it happened.
That's amazing. Yeah. So I would like to hear from you now. Your journey at Einstein Rising. Tell us those amazing few elements at the end of the training which you acquired from the whole training.
Of course, I think we were the first cohort for the social enterprise for Africa. We were the first cohort, and I think we're between 20 to 30 participants.
That was a great number.
And I can assure you this was a very good platform for networking.
With different other amazing entrepreneurs
on ground, people, exactly.
Struggling like you.
Yes. So that was one thing that I achieved out of that. And I also learned to focus on where do I want to see. I had a vision, but the issue of being able to survive was overshadowing the vision.
I get it.
So like I was at that point where I would say, I remember even at one time I thought of, it's okay, I can even, because there's a client who asked me for plastic bags that are branded. And I was almost accepting to take that deal, not considering the environment.
The environment part of it.
Yes. So it was at that time that I was moving along with Einstein Rising.
That's how hard the hustle was.
Exactly. So through the training, I was like, okay, no, I need to get back on track. I need to refocus. Much as this is a good deal, I'm not going to take it. Because in the long run, it's going to affect.
I love that. You thought about now our Mother Earth.
Exactly.
That needs protection from the mess of plastics everywhere. Yes. Okay, that's amazing. So from a staggering business you had, at the end of the training, you had direction.
Yes.
You had already what to do, how to bring in money, and how to get more partners, and how to be sustainable.
Yes. And the other part of it, in my life, I had never pitched. I didn't even know what pitching meant.
And how to stand before a congregation.
I was very good at talking. I was audible because, because of my work background. I used to do a lot of interviews on TV with, about child rights issues. I was part of the team that participated in the amendment of the Children's Act. So my, exposure was okay. To an extent that even the fellow participants thought I was experienced in pitching. Even some of the trainers thought I was very experienced in pitching. But truthfully, it was my first time to pitch.
You were also just faking the strength before them.
No, I had the motivation.
You had the motivation.
I had the motivation. I had the energy. I had that strong,
But the flow, you were not used to the flow of the pitch. I was not used
to the flow of, pitching. What is pitching?
Tell us at the end of the training. So, what was your experience in line with pitching?
At the end of the training, I really learned how to pitch.
Okay.
I learned how to come up with a pitch deck, and most importantly, I learned how to describe my business within 2 minutes or even less.
Within just an elevator pitch.
Within 2 minutes. Like, for instance, I remember there's a session where we had, you're in a lift. You've gotten this opportunity to meet an investor. And, you have like 1 minute. Talk about yourself. And that is how I learned it. I learned you have to have all the information about your enterprise on your fingertips, and you can put it out within 1 minute.
This is the beauty of Einstein Rising. Currently we are having another cohort. We have an application ongoing whereby we are calling more entrepreneurs out there across Africa this time. It's a continental opportunity.
I wish I could apply for that.
Yeah. Okay. So the way you are wishing to apply again, could you call these other amazing entrepreneurs outside there with staggering businesses who are looking for direction, who are thinking that they can get money from all corners instead of streamlining onto one direction? Call them to come and grab this great opportunity.
Dear social entrepreneurs out there, I've been in the same boat before. And yes, I'm in another boat now, but I'm not yet out of the boat. So please join and take this opportunity up. I would advise that do not so much focus on the money part of it, because you might not get it. Not everyone is going to get. So you might not get it. And of course, it depends on the investors, how you pitch and all that. And of course, But trust me, you might even learn more if you're very attentive, if you're to the point, if you follow the training very well, if you follow the program very well, you might achieve even more than the person who's going to pitch and get money. Because the knowledge you're going to get is much more than the money that you might be focusing on.
There is an African saying, which goes like this: that we always believe most after seeing. Tell us about the amazing impact, the amazing achievements which you've got after the training, since you were done with the training.
Okay,
as SYDF.
As SYDF,
yes.
The most important thing is that I learned and I got exposure.
That's amazing.
I learned, and actually it's from that program that I learned to differentiate between a social enterprise and an enterprise. There's a huge difference, but people in most cases regard it as the same.
Which is not the case.
Which is not the case. And it's from Einstein Rising that I actually started saying SYDF is a social enterprise. SYDF, of course, at the beginning, I kept on playing around with it. SYDF is a hybrid.
It's a hybrid organization.
Eventually, I zeroed down to
NGO.
Exactly.
Those things.
Eventually, I zeroed down and said now SYDF is a social enterprise because of that program. So, please, young social entrepreneurs out there, join this program if you have the opportunity. If you're enrolled, take this opportunity. Do not mostly look at the money. Look at the knowledge. Look at the networking. There's a whole lot that you can gain out of that, more than the money.
Yeah, for example, about networking, SN Rising with other partners, like over every year. SN Rising is hosting an Impact Day, where you meet every stakeholder in the entrepreneurship ecosystem from across Africa and the whole globe. So SN Rising is having a lot of these opportunities. At SN Rising, we say that we are developing Africa through social entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for having you. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you too.